Hello everyone and welcome back to Weekend Moblin. Today I'm joined by Moblin Steve as we go over our predictions for a possible Nintendo Direct coming in the near future. Remember, if you like what you see, a like and a subscribe would go a long way to help out the channel, and we would love for you all to become a Moblin yourselves and join our ranks.
With the Overwatch case leaked, GameStop SKUs hitting their systems, Nintendo insider Emily Rogers giving the scoop on it, Nintendo themselves updating the Smash site with a little newcomer information, and the fact that we've gotten a September Direct for the past few years, a September Direct is imminent. Here are some of our predictions for an upcoming September Nintendo Direct, believed to be happening soon. With all the ports the Nintendo Switch already houses, plus the fact that Super Mario 3D World is a game style in Super Mario Maker 2, I don't think it's a matter of if, but when the game comes over. Super Mario 3D World is one of the last major Wii U first-party games that hasn't already been ported to the Switch, and it's one of the best games on the console, so Nintendo might as well go ahead and release it. The big hook for the original release of this one wasn't the gamepad, it was the multiplayer, and with the Switch being such a great multiplayer console, it's a perfect fit, and should stay pretty faithful from the original release. I do wonder if anything will be added to this version though, as it never received any DLC, and Nintendo has treated most of these re-releases as deluxe ports, including all the DLC from games post-launch. Games that did not include any DLC, like Captain Toad, received new content in the form of Odyssey-inspired stages, or with DK Tropical Freeze, they tacked in a new character with Funky Kong, who come with his own mode. What will they do here? Release the vanilla version? Or maybe Toadette? They could add some Odyssey-inspired levels, maybe, but I think they'll add the cut content from Captain Toad's original release. They could possibly even expand upon it. Do you have anything you'd like to add to that, Aaron?
Being honest here, 3D World was kinda already perfect as it is, so I don't think there's really much that could be added that you've not just said.
Here's the thing though, I don't think Nintendo's released a vanilla port of any of their re-releases from the Wii U, so I think they're gonna add something to this. What it is a mystery. That's one of my predictions. What do you got for us here, Aaron?
Nintendo Rare Collection. With Microsoft and Nintendo being so friendly lately and the Banjo Smash DLC around the corner, we can't help but think a Nintendo-themed Rare replay is money waiting to happen for both companies. With the 007 remake on the Wii, it's safe to say we wouldn't be getting that on the list of games we would see here, but that doesn't mean that we don't have some great selections of games to pick from. Diddy Kong Racing also had a re-release on the DS, but was missing characters such as Banjo and Conker. With this game being a thing, we could finally have the characters return alongside Diddy and pals for another race. Speaking of Diddy Kong, what about Donkey Kong Country 1 through 3? The Super Nintendo Classic had Donkey Kong Country 1 on it, but not 2. And from personal experience, that's most people's favorite in the series, and having the third join for the ride is a sealed deal for me. Take a look at the 64 titles, and you've got DK64, the best N64 title for many. We're more in the Banjo camp here at Weekend Moblin, but this game is still amazing, and definitely needs to be in this collection of games. With its different characters from the likes of Lanky to Tiny, and new abilities, it made for a great game. Also, the multiplayer was a serious time killer, and the DK rap, for some reason, made me and my cousin laugh uncontrollably for a good 30 minutes. But the list, it doesn't stop there. With Star Fox Adventures Dinosaur Planet, now I wouldn't call this your normal Star Fox game, but trust me, if you give it a shot and play it past the opening scenes, you'll find it's a charming game that introduces you to some of the best Star Fox characters to date, inspired by the likes of Ocarina of Time. While it might not be as memorable to some, I assure you it takes a good look at this style, and if you're willing to go through another Zelda experience but without Link, this might just meet that itch. Now include some Game Boy titles along for the ride. The Donkey Kong Lands and Killer Instinct for starters will be some nice additions to the list. And Banjo GBA titles, while not the best games ever, can get another shot and wouldn't hurt the package with Banjo being in Smash relatively soon. What about you, Steve? Any rare games you would love to see on this?
I mean, obviously Donkey Kong Country would be awesome, but man, if this is true, this is great. This would just seal that partnership between Microsoft and Nintendo perfectly. I wouldn't even care if we got another game from them, as long as we got a rare replay inspired by Nintendo. Do have a question though, do you think the Killer Instinct ports that's on the rare replay that's currently on Xbox will be available?
That's why I pointed out the Game Boy one. I don't feel anything that's currently licensed under Xbox. It's also why I didn't throw in Banjo 1 and 2. I'm afraid that those might not be on there because of that reason. There's a chance, but the Game Boy title is more what I'm looking at.
Oh, come on. I want them to bring let's dream big. I want them to bring the bear back. I'm predicting if they do this, no Killer Instinct, but maybe they might bring the bear back. Maybe Banjo 1.
Hey, if Banjo is still owned by Rare, it's Killer Instinct that's not, so hey, that's still very possible. With that being said, Steve, what's your next prediction?
Okay, remember last September's Nintendo Direct, how it ended with Animal Crossing, which was teased for a release this year? We all know that that game got delayed, but I think the idea was to show a glimpse of their intended holiday game. I think they'll do the same this year when they tease us with Super Mario Odyssey 2 featuring Island Alfino. Well, I'm in the camp that they may have already teased this with that tweet. You know the tweet I'm talking about. The one with Mario enjoying some watermelon in a beach chair. With the tweet including both the words Sunshine and Odyssey, here's the place to officially tease it. I'm guessing they will show it at the end of the Direct, this or the Smash character. As to what they'll show, I don't know. I don't think they'll show as much, but I do think they'll emphasize Island Alfino. Maybe the camera will zoom in on Mario relaxing on the beach and pan all the way out, revealing an island shaped like a dolphin. Fade to black with some text that says 2020. I'm pretty confident Nintendo is going to show off games that are going to be released by the end of Q1 of next year. And this game won't be fully revealed until sometime next year, I'm sure. E3 or maybe a February Direct at the earliest. But just a little something to show us that it's coming wouldn't be harmful. This would be, in my opinion, the best way to end the Direct. Yeah, I know that's a lot of Mario for one Direct, but that just seems to happen every once in a while. Just a bunch of Mario stuff releasing within a year or so apart. He is the company's mascot after all. Do you have anything you want to add to that, Aaron?
Actually, if there's anything I would love to see, particularly when it comes to an Odyssey or Sunshine sequel, either way, they both didn't have Luigi playable at all, and I know the balloon thing is the thing, but a lot of people wanted Luigi this time. Throw us a bone. Put Luigi in this game, whether it be DLC, sequel, or to either game, Odyssey or Sunshine, either way. And you got me happy. That's really the only true request I have other than staying faithful to the awesome 3D style that Mario has developed over the years.
Guess I'll pass the next prediction on to you, Aaron. What do you got for us?
Alright, here's a good one. Nintendo bringing the Super Nintendo games to the Nintendo Online services. With September 18th fast approaching, what will Nintendo do to make sure people stay on board with the online services? There's definitely one good way, and that got data mined quite some time ago, and that's the Super Nintendo games on the Switch. Now, I'm not saying we don't love the Nintendo Entertainment System. We all do, but they are only something most can play when a certain mood hits. Super Nintendo, however, now that's got some timeless classics to offer. Those games included Super Mario Kart, Super Soccer, The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past, Demon's Crest, Super Mario World 2 Yoshi's Island, Stunt Race FX, Kirby's Dream Cruise, Poppin' Twin B, Star Fox, Contra 3 The Alien Wars, Kirby Superstar, Super Ghouls and Ghosts, Kirby's Dream Land 3, Super Metroid, Super Mario World, Pilot Wings, F-Zero, Star Fox 2, Super Punch-Out, The Legend of the Mystical Ninjas, Super Mario All-Stars, and Breath of Fire 2. This was the entire list of games that got data mined. With the likes of Super Metroid and Super Mario World, I'd have to think titles of that nature would be released within the announcement of the service, and that the other titles would see release slowly throughout the months to come, with possible third-party releases spread throughout as well. What better way to get Switch owners back on board with the online services? Not increasing the price tag like many have rumored is a good start. We definitely can't see Nintendo making a move like that. The Super Nintendo has already been promised some time ago as is. Is there anything you would like to add in, Steve?
Yeah, I definitely think that the Nintendo Switch online service will make an appearance here, and I've got a lot to say about it. So much so that I did an entire video about it. You can check that out in the video description below if you want to hear what I had to say about the 1-year anniversary of the Nintendo Switch and what we would like to see going into that system in the future.
With that being said, Steve, is there any other predictions you have as well?
I've got one more prediction here, and it's a Mario one.
Wow.
I know not every game that Nintendo makes is gonna get DLC, and there has been some glaring omissions when it comes to their DLC efforts. I'm looking at you, Super Mario Party, but with their online-focused games on the other hand, DLC almost seems to be a given. Post-launch content kept ARMS going way longer than I think anyone was expecting it to, and Splatoon 2 was a 2-year ride of new content constantly pumping new life into that game. With all the post-game stuff that game ended up seeing, the game nearly doubled in content from its initial launch, especially if you got the paid DLC for that one. With Splatoon 2 officially wrapping up, Mario Maker 2 is now helming the Switch Online game torch, and with that title should come some big updates in the form of post-launch content. Super Mario 2 gameplay style seems to be the one everyone is asking for. I'm predicting that we will receive it. That and an update to play online multiplayer modes with your friends. But the Super Mario Maker 2 stuff is the real meat here. There's a big blank space beside the Super Mario 3D World style just begging to be filled, and with Super Mario Maker 2 being the most different game style out of all the classics, it's the perfect addition. What type of levels can the public build with the plucking mechanics? I would love to see those ideas handed over to the makers out there. The enemies in this game are also so wonderfully different as well. Not only can Birdo make it in as a boss character, but the underutilized fan favorite Wart can finally make his return to the Mario universe with this edition. There's a ton of gameplay styles that Nintendo could choose from, but my guess is this is the one. As to when it'll be released, I don't know, but December does have some vacant spots, and that would be my guess. Aaron, do you have any idea of what kind of Mario Maker 2 DLC we could see, and do you think we'll see it at this Direct?
I do believe Mario Maker 2 DLC is definitely coming. This Direct or not, it's possible. I'm not going to say it's impossible. With so many other Mario theories going around, why not add a third Mario game on the list? But I gotta agree with you completely on the Mario Bros. 2 style. A lot of people are suspecting maybe a Mario Land 2, which would also be awesome, and maybe that would come down the line in the future. But the max I'm expecting a DLC out of this game is possibly the Super Mario Bros. 2 style that we've all been begging for.
Okay, after I got to thinking about it, I thought there possibly could have been some additional DLC with new objectives. Do you remember the Toad Rescue missions from the story mode? That would be an awesome addition to online modes.
Oh, and the block carrying.
Yeah, and the block carrying. It's already in the game, they just have to put it there. I think, and it'd be easy in my opinion. Another thing I was thinking about was mystery mushrooms. I do think that the NES version of Super Mario Bros. 1 is unique enough now with the Super Mushroom power-up and the spoiler power-up. I don't think we're going to talk about it, it might be too early, but there's another power-up in that game. If you beat the story modes, you know what I'm talking about. That, if they bring back mystery mushrooms, I think they could be in all game styles, except for maybe the extra ones. It'll just be a handful of characters, and it'd be a great way to set up events like you would in Splatoon 2 and keep the game hyped. Imagine like a Super Nintendo Link, or a
Frog Suit!
Yeah.
Just throwing that out there, Nintendo Frog Suit's my favorite Mario suit.
But with that being said, Aaron, you've got one more prediction for us. Would you like to share that with us?
Of course, and I think this is the one everybody's seen coming, and more than likely this will either start the Direct off or end the Direct, possibly starting the Direct with this next thing and ending it with the thing I have to say after that. Banjo's release window and the next Smash character reveal. With Banjo having been known about since E3, we're, along with everyone else, thinking it's time to tell us around what time we can expect the Baron Bird on Smash. Nintendo is very known for its release windows and not so much dates, so we don't expect anything but maybe along the lines of, it'll be coming at the end of September. And what better way to spend the holidays? Trust me, as someone who literally danced around the room on his reveal, I can't tell you just how excited I am to have these two in action. All Banjo mains, stand up. You're a Moblin now. Welcome to the den. With that being said, it's getting around that time as well to start hyping up the next character. Who could it be? We won't be going off personal wants or opinions here, but more off what's been seen on the internet so much as of lately, depending on rumors. With the SNK oopsie that just took place yesterday, we'll see whether or not that's true or not, looking likely, with the rumors of a ponytailed fighter with a bird being a possible female fighter, kinda adds to that a little bit. I Am Swifty, a credible leaker according to many, has also stated that the likes of Ryu Hayabusa. This doesn't mean by any mean that any of the three characters I just listed will be the ones that we'll see this time around, but it's definitely time to find out just who it might be. Resident Evil? Maybe a out of left field character like Sans? Feel free to tell us what you think in the comments below. Matter of fact, while they're telling us what they think, what do you think, Steve?
This one's gonna be a bit of a spoiler. No, I won't spoil you. But Nintendo kinda leaked on their European Smash site that a certain company is being copyrighted the credits for the new DLC character, and I believe that's gonna happen, and I believe that's gonna happen soon. And also, not a spoiler, but in Japan, the 7-Elevens are advertising a release date for BanjoKazooie. Did you see this?
Yes, actually, I did see that. That's why I said September, because I was thinking along November just this morning until I saw that.
Yeah, I'm guessing that will happen as well. But I think that's all I have to add. I think you covered it pretty good.
All right, let's go ahead and get this wrapped up. And is there any final little predictions, third-party companies? Maybe, obviously we got The Witcher 3. We're going to see that. We got, well, what you mentioned earlier, the Overwatch thing. We're going to see that. What else are you thinking?
Okay, I have a bonus prediction here. I don't think that we'll see Animal Crossing New Horizon. I know that's unfortunate, but I do think that it's going to have its own direct announced. There's normally a game-specific direct announced in November, and I think Animal Crossing will get that slot. And it's had that slot twice before already.
Definitely, I agree 100%. No Animal Crossing this direct. Will we hear when we will possibly be hearing about it? That's likely. But seeing any new information, no.
Also, Luigi's Mansion 3, will it be present? What's your opinion?
Oh yeah, it'll be here. Some new little gameplay footage, just little stuff, nothing major. I mean, it's right around the corner. It's going to be released. Same with Link's Awakening. They just had that Shadow Link footage they just showed. There's going to be something.
Yeah, unfortunately, I wish there was more to that game, but I think we've seen just about everything we could. With Luigi's Mansion 3, I do think they might introduce a new mechanic, but other than that, I'm not entirely sure. Here's a big one that we left out, Breath of the Wild 2.
No. Absolutely no.
No, I don't think it will be there either. I think we possibly might see that game at the Game Awards, but with Reggie Fils-Aimé retiring from the company, I don't know if Jeff Keighley will have an in with Nintendo like he did through Reggie. I do think that there is an obligation from Nintendo to be there, though, and they could possibly show Bayonetta 3. It's too soon to show it on this Nintendo Direct. I mean, Astral Chain's literally just released. It would make no sense to even mention Bayonetta 3 in this Direct.
I completely agree. Bayonetta 3, no direct. That completely just seems like a Game Awards type game to be shown then.
I mean, could you see Breath of the Wild 2 possibly being at the Game Awards? Because I think it's going to be Bayo 3.
I think it's Bayonetta 3. Breath of the Wild 2, it's way too soon. I don't expect to hear anything from that until this next year's E3.
Here's another game, Metroid Prime 4.
No,
too soon. I agree.
They just started development, so...
Metroid Prime Trilogy, on the other hand, has been heavily rumored. I'm going to say, yeah, we could possibly see Metroid Prime Trilogy here.
It's very possible, but it's also possible they'll wait a half a year from now to even bother and release it closer to when 4 will be out.
And lastly, this one I'm kind of on the fence about, because you used to never see Pokemon content in Nintendo Directs. They would always do them in their own separate announcement, but Pokemon has been popping up in those Nintendo Directs. Do you think we'll see some information here?
If we see anything at all, I honestly feel like we won't. It'll probably be one more Pokemon video leading up to the release of Pokemon, and that'll be its own separate Pokemon Company ran video. But if we see anything, 2-3 new Pokemon, it's always possible. Maybe some Galarian forms.
Okay, I didn't put this one in my notes, but I know Retro Studios is working on the Metroid Prime 4. I think they also had another game in development. There was that rumored Star Fox game, racing game.
Yeah, that sounded like it was going to be kind of nice.
Do you think Retro Studios is here in any way?
I feel like they're holding on to whatever they're doing, and hear me out on this. I don't feel like they've spent all these years just to now start development for Metroid Prime 4. They're working on something they have been for years, whether it be a new Donkey Kong or a Star Fox. Personally, I know a lot of people may not be on board for the Donkey Kong, but I want a third. I want a trilogy here.
Yeah, me too. And with them working on, I think it was Mario Kart 7, I want it to be Diddy Kong Racing. I want it to be a Diddy Kong Racing game.
I would love to see it. Let's make it happen. Let's just try to move on since we're getting into kind of more of the wants here.
Yeah, this is going to be sort of our dream list. We don't necessarily think this stuff's going to be here, but we're not stretching too far. I think everything we're going to say is pretty plausible. And I'll start us off with a Konami collection. I already did a video on Konami collections, which we'll plug into the description below, and the very first one I talked about was a Castlevania collection, a second one, one primarily focused on the Metroidvania games. That would be awesome. I don't know if we would get it this soon, but if we did, man, I'm gonna be broke because I'm already gonna be buying a lot of games this year, but I'll take it.
Oh yeah, same here. And feeding off your same video actually as far as wants go, Metal Gear. Metal Gear has been all but forgotten since, Kojima left. What better way to get it back in the spotlight than everyone's favorite console right now, the Switch, handheld, Metal Gear Solid HD Collection. More importantly though, like you stated, this game was made on the PlayStation 3 and that was Metal Gear Solid 5. That could so easily be ported over to the Switch and I would lose my mind. I love that game.
Yeah, the Fox engine certainly seems scalable enough. You've got Metal Gear Solid The Phantom Pain on PS3, PS4, and Xbox One. And you have Metal Gear Solid Ground Zero on all those consoles, plus the 360, which was also made with the Fox engine. So I do think that game's scalable enough to be on the Switch. Speaking of third parties, that would be the bombshell for me, Metal Gear Solid 5. I mean, we've got The Witcher 3 coming on this thing, we got Doom. There is the rumored Call of Duty game coming to the Nintendo Switch, which has gained some traction. And if Call of Duty comes to the Switch, that's more power to people that play those games. The more games that's on the Switch, the better. It personally wouldn't excite me any, but I would love to see a Metal Gear Solid 5 game.
Yeah, personally, I'm really excited to see The Witcher 3 come to the Switch. That was such a surprise game for me. I'd never really been into the Witcher series at all beforehand, but then I just remember seeing a video for that one day and just going, you know what, I'm going to try and random new series out. And trust me, guys, when I say if you've not tried out The Witcher 3 when it does release on the Switch, I recommend you look its way.
I've got one more game on a wish list that I'd like to see at this Direct. I don't know if we'll see it at this Direct. I do think it's plausible that we'll see it at some point, maybe at E3 next year, maybe another Direct, maybe this one, but a new 2D Metroid game by Mercury Steam. They did get permission from Nintendo to make Samus Returns on the 3DS. We've already got Link's Awakening on the Nintendo Switch. Let's bring one of those handheld Metroid games and remaster it for the Nintendo Switch. Fusion was the pitch that Mercury Steam gave Nintendo in order for them to have the ability to make Samus Returns. My personal favorite Metroid game is Metroid Zero Mission though, and that's the game I would like to see remastered to Switch. I would take Fusion, I wouldn't complain, but either way, that's my wish list. I want to see that game at this Direct. Whether it'll happen or not, I don't know. I'm doubtful.
Oh yeah, I want to see Fusions. I want to see Fusions so bad. That game had such a good little horror mechanic to it, even though it wasn't a horror game. Something about it had that offness to it. And another game, since we're just talking about once here, just off the top, I'll mention it real quick. Very likely won't happen. Square Enix, something Chrono Trigger related in any way, shape, or form, whether it just be simply coming out again on the Switch, Super Nintendo version, well, the DS version preferably with all the new upgrades and the anime cutscenes, or even better yet, remake it. But is there anything else?
No, I think that pretty much covers it for my predictions for this Nintendo Direct. Is there anything else you would like to see or anything else you gotta say?
Honestly, I gotta think, we covered it. This is a lot of information, and if Nintendo even covers half of this stuff, it's a great Direct.
Yeah, it would be. If you guys like what you've heard here and you want to hear more about Nintendo Directs, then like this video and subscribe to the channel. We would really appreciate it.
And guys, if you have any predictions of your own that you would want to discuss about the upcoming Nintendo Direct, please hit those comments up and tell us what you think. We would love to keep this conversation going leading into for the next week or two with the possible Direct. Guys, it's been a lot of fun having you. Stay tuned to Weekend Moblins.